Now, there are some who think we ought to just get the government out of the post office business altogether. And normally I'm a guy that believes if a private entity can do a better job than the government, then let's let the private entity do it. But there's a problem here. It's called the U.S. Constitution. Article 1, Section 8. The Congress shall have power to, and you go through the listed empowerments, establish post offices and post roads. And if you go through our history, you find out that actually they were quite concerned about the king being able to prevent them from sending newspapers and news and messages around that could inform people of what was really going on. They thought it was so important that there be a government post office, and I do too. But we can't be stupid about the way it's running, and we have people in management positions in the United States Post Office who have been worse than stupid. Incompetent doesn't begin to touch what some in management of the U.S. Post Office have been doing. It's as if they want to kill it off. Now, there are a lot of issues, but I think the biggest issue is in the middle and upper management of the post office. Because I've seen on more than one occasion an announcement by the United States Post Office that we are going to close this post office, we're going to close this facility, and that was followed with a statement that, and therefore we are going to pay for an independent study to show that we should close these facilities. Well, duh. You go pay somebody to do a study to justify the decision you've already made. You got no business being in a management position because you're not using the facts and information at hand to make your decisions. You make your decisions willy-nilly regardless of what the facts dictate should occur. And we got a good indication of that recently in East Texas. We got a map sent out by these brilliant managers of the U.S. Post Office explaining a decision they had made. And I'm going to get this up here because it's important that the management that sent this out understands how silly, how ridiculously incompetent they are. Now, they were making a decision with regard to a postal processing facility near Tyler, Texas. Tyler, Texas is located in Smith County. Now, in Texas, though, we do have a Tyler County, and in Tyler County, you find towns like Woodville, Chester, Warren, places like that. But you don't find Tyler, Texas, or the Tyler, Texas processing facility in Tyler County. It's in Smith County. Yet we had a determination by the management of the U.S. Post Office that it would be more effective to shut down the Tyler processing facility. And they sent out this map to show this. This is an exact enlargement of the map the U.S. Postal Management sent out to justify their closing a processing facility near Tyler, Texas. In the center of this circle is Tyler County. It's not near Tyler, Texas. It's not near the processing facility. Now, you might say, well, surely they went out and talked to the people at the processing facility, looked for decisions that could be made to make it more efficient, more economically viable, those kind of things. And the answer would clearly be, how can they go out and talk to them when they don't even know where Tyler, Texas is? They think it's in Tyler County. We got some morons. Maybe they're just incompetent. Who knows? But when we look to see, okay, how is the post office adjusting, we figure, well, as any business would know, you don't want to hurt the retail business. You don't want to make it more difficult for people to use the retail end of your business. That would be the local post offices. So what have these mental giants done? They've said, we're going to close lots of post offices and make it much more difficult for you to use our services. And not only that, we're going to close processing facilities that make the mail move many times more quickly, more efficiently, save tremendous amounts of gasoline because we do the processing close to where it occurs. They're talking about closing a processing facility in Lufkin. I'm sure they don't know where that one is either. But when you look at what they've done, it makes no sense. Now, this is the map they sent out with Tyler County as the center. This tells you, here down here is Tyler County. Here up here is Tyler, Texas. They're not even close. They don't cover the same areas. And yet they were using information down here about Tyler County to justify closing a facility up here. And surely they found their error, but they don't care. They're in middle management. What difference does it make? They're not accountable. They don't have to show a profit. They don't have to show efficiency. So what do they do? Here's part of what's going on with the post office. Well, times are tough, so let's create more senior management staff. How about that? Percent management change from 97 to 2012 up 41.25%. Wow, that's some smart folks. Gee, we need more retail. We need people using our services more. Let's close retail facilities, make it more difficult to use them. Let's get some more senior management in there, and gee, that will make a lot of difference. We've gone up 1,006% on inspector generals, and local management losses have been rather dramatic. That's not the way to become more efficient. Not only that, they could take a clue from what America is doing. Used to be that you pulled into a service station and you got service. Now you pull into a service station, the only service is what you get out of the car and do yourself. And I prefer to do that anyway. I've worked in service stations and I actually enjoyed it. So I don't want anybody else pumping my gas. And when I finish and the thing clicks off, I raise the hose up and I get every bit of the gas that I've got in that hose. Well, let's look at the routes. Right now, if you mail a letter in Tyler, Texas, to go to Lufkin, Texas, it'll travel 84 miles. You mail one from Tyler to Palestine, and it is Palestine in East Texas, total 47 miles. You mail a letter to Tyler to Longview, it's 38 miles. Under the new plan, that's certainly not going to save any gasoline, our brilliant postal management will have you mail a letter to Tyler that's going to Longview, the 38 miles. Now it will go to Dallas area, then over to Shreveport, then back to Longview. We're not going to process it here. We're going to go from 38 miles to 389 miles to deliver a letter. To Lufkin, well, we're going to make it go 10 times further. We're going to go to Dallas, then clear down, I guess that's to Houston, and then back up to Lufkin. We're going to go about 10 times as far to deliver a letter as we did before. This is nuts. What we've seen in America is, as times got tough, service stations say, you know what, we're going to let you do your own pumping. That'll help us save and be more efficient. And as time's gone on, they say, you know what, let's put other services in this gas station. So you see banks, you see other things. And in some post offices, they were beginning to do that, have agreements with the state. Let's let the state lease or pay us to do some of the state services here. Let's allow them to come in and get passports here. And there were some people that were thinking right. You combine other services, this post office will be the center of the community. It'll be efficient. It'll be local. It'll bring people to our retail outlet, and they'll have more people using our services at the post office. Not the way these mental giants figure it. Oh, no, we're going to close post offices. We're going to close processing facilities and make it cost a tremendous amount more. We're going to make these decisions, and then we're going to go out and we're going to hire people to do a study to come to the conclusion we tell them, all in the name of making the post office more efficient. That is nuts. It's time to clean out the management of the United States Post Office. I've dealt with postal employees all my adult life. Those are hard-working folks, people that deliver the mail, people that stand there behind the counter, take abuse all day, lines getting longer because we're not replacing the people when they leave. They're good people. They're hard-working people. There's some issues with pensions. We can deal with those. But for heaven's sake, it's time to get rid of top-heavy management making ridiculous decisions, and we can improve our lot here.